Sudan has been witnessing intense fighting for 2 years between the army and the foreign-backed paramilitary rapid support forces. In the western Darfur region, the city of El Fasher, the largest in the area, has largely fallen under RSF control following heavy clashes. We will discuss the details with Associate Professor Tarıg Mohamed Nour from the Department of History at the University of Khartoum. Mr. Tarıg, thank you for accepting our interview. First of all, what is the main cause of the civil war in Sudan? Is it a struggle for power, ethnic tensions, or foreign intervention? And what exactly is the objective of the rapid support forces?
In the beginning, I would like to thank you for accepting me as a guest. And the other side, I would like to say that it is not just a normal war between two generals, as some people say, or just a military coup or something like that. This is an international war. It has been supported, and it is obviously by Arab Emirates. And it's not only them, but there is another power behind them, like Israel and the four countries. So we can see it like a war that is started in the April 2023, and it's still up to now. But the people get to know it after the fall of Al-Fasher. But this war started with a criminal against the civilians of Sudan in Khartoum. I was there when this war started, and we spelled out of Khartoum to Jazeera. And then they also, that is Jazeera is central Sudan. And after that, they came to Jazeera and take it and from the army. And then the people, we get to go to East Sudan, and they have took more the lands of Sudan. But they went to Kordofan and Darfur. And then we have seen the last days of this bad war by this, what we call it, by this militia of the Janjaweeds. So, as you ask, what the Janjaweed needs? In the beginning, they want to rule the Sudan all over it, because the militia of the Janjaweed started with a small number, but as the last time, they have more than 120,000 militians, and they thought they will take all over the Sudan. So, they want to take over all the Sudan and to rule it, decide what they have agenda from Emirates to have collaboration of Emirates, Israel, and other countries. So the last days, we have the problem in Al-Fasher when they had all the militias go to that city. The city was under the fire for 2 years. The army and the people managed to live there for all this time. But the last war, it became very bad. They used bad kind of weapons. They used kind of weapons that should not be used, and they take hold of the city of Al-Fasher, the last city that the army has control over it, and the people after that suffered because they have been killed in the city, and then the one who are coming out of the war also, they have been raped or killed in the ways. So we have a bad situation there, and that is a small picture of this horrible war.
Is the United Arab Emirates support the paramilitary RSF limited to gold trading, or does it also involve the flow of weapons and a broader competition for regional influence?
Yeah, it's not only Sudan has strategic hold of the Eastern Africa. We have ports in the Red Sea. The Russians want one of these bases in the Red Sea. That's one, to be held in the Red Sea. And the importantness of the Red Sea, not only to Emirates trade, but also for Israel's safety. So they are doing that for the sake of Israel. And also, besides that, also we have the water. So the United Arab Emirates, beside Israel, they support Ethiopia to make the Nahda Dam or the Renaissance Dam, and that is control the water coming from the Blue Nile coming to Sudan, and after that to Egypt. So it is a strategic hold of the water share, even what they did in South Sudan. So the South Sudan president has, even if he's ill, he can go to Israel and have his, what we call it, hospitality there. So also Israel is taking hold of the water, and Emirates, they are thinking of to use the Fashaga area that is in Eastern Sudan for agriculture projects.
So, is a possible agreement between the Sudanese army and the RSF realistic? The United States has initiated talks, but no breakthrough has been achieved yet. Do you believe these negotiations could eventually lead to a resolution?
I don't think it is going to take, because when we are in the war in Khartoum, after 1 week after this war spread out, the United States, Saudi Arabia, they tried to make kind of this dialogue, but I think at that time they are not they are not really want to end the war. They want big things. They want what we got the militia to make more hold of the government. Also, at that time, just the militias has their hands in part of Khartoum, and they fall to make that. And now they are making it again. So I don't think it is going to bring something, but they can make the government retreat about some things, because in the past, the militias, maybe they have no control over everywhere, but now they have control of that for all of it. So they can make something to say to Sudanese government. Also, it's going to be two countries, therefore will go out as the south of Sudan went out before. So the government maybe accept something on that. But I don't think the people of Sudan, especially the people who witness the problems of genocide in Al Jazeera, Sinnar, Kordofan, Khartoum, and now in Darfur, they can accept this kind of people to be again in power.
So are external powers, particularly the UAE, Egypt, the United States, Saudi Arabia, and Russia, deepening the conflict rather than helping to resolve it? And could the fall of al-Bashir push Sudan towards a permanent division?
I think power that you mentioned are not, they have the whole, they are not in the same way of thinking, because here you mentioned some people, they are actors and the others are the official powers. For example, all of them, they wanted the thing in Sudan, but they do not among themselves. They are not have one thing to say, especially for Russia and others and for United States. For example, Egypt may be thinking about it is a strategic problem of water coming from Sudan. So they are in some terms, they want the government of Sudan and they don't want the militia to be there, but they are being forced by others. For Emirates, it is something like they wanted as Israel and America wanted. For Russia, although their Wagner militias supported the militias of the Sudan, but also their shares will be different from the way the United States is thinking. So in that way, I think they are not coming, or they are coming to one order to make pressure in Sudan. Especially, I think you have seen before the American or the Emirates want to make kind of something in the UN, but it doesn't go, for example. But they can use the 7 order to make international power in Sudan, and that is the thing that Sudanese people don't want. But they can impose it by the 7, that is before they cannot do it. I think in the first war of Darfur in 2003 they wanted, but they didn't be because the Russian embargo didn't accept it. But now maybe they can accept it if they have deal with America. Then we will be under that law, and international soldiers maybe come to Sudan. But I don't think that a solution is good for Sudan, because it's going to separate it into kind of countries.